Welcome to the most exciting day in Autocar's calendar, when we try to work out which, out of all the great cars we've tested in the last year, is the greatest of them all. Venue, Castle Combe race circuit in Wiltshire. Mission, to have as much fun as it's possible to have on four wheels, and hopefully, to reach some kind of a grown-up decision at some stage during the process as well. Castle Combe is notorious for two things. One, how fast it is in places, and two, how bumpy it is, which in a way makes it the perfect circuit on which to test a bunch of fast road cars, like this little lot. The hero corner at Combe is Quarry, a third gear right-hander that's approached over bumps and at anything up to 150 miles an hour in something like the 458 Speciale. There are two chicanes and a fantastically difficult to master right-hander called Tower, at the exit of which the tyre wall is terrifyingly close. Overall, it represents a proper challenge to both car and driver. There's really just one rule that governs what can and can't compete in this contest. A car either needs to be brand new during the previous 12 months, or it's got to be last year's winner. So we gathered 12 cars in total, from the screaming Ferrari 458 Speciale to the Renault Megane Trophy to the 911 GT3, which won the event outright last year. Never before have we had such a high quality lineup of cars, but even so, there were plenty of elements that separated them. Pretty much the entire staff of Autocar turned up to test the cars during our two-day event to find out which is king of the castle. Here's what some of our testers thought.
What is amazing about this Atom, particularly relative to other Atoms I've driven, is how easy it is to drive. It gives you the confidence that, to be honest, other Atoms haven't done. You can lean on it in a way you've never been able to lean on any other Atom before. I love it, I absolutely love it.
The Corvette has split opinion a little bit on the day. But happily enough, it's only between people who really like it and people who just like it a little bit. Power's fantastic, the balance is superb. Castle Combe's very bumpy and it's a lot more compliant than some of the cars that we've got here. It's been a great track car for the day.
One of the things that baffles me about the Jaguar is you shouldn't have to battle a car that is all about the driving. It should make it reasonably easy for you to master, and somehow this doesn't.
I absolutely love the Cayman GTS. Last year we had a Cayman S and I put that in second position behind the 911 GT3 because I felt when you wanted that harder edge, those times you do, it wasn't quite there. But with this GTS, Porsche's given you that harder edge and improved the whole package on top of that at the same time.
So this is the first time that I've driven the coupe version of the McLaren 650S. First thing that strikes me is, although it is the most super of supercars, it rides like a Rolls Royce, so it rides absolutely beautifully. But the second thing that I love about it is the power. It's got so much grunt and its urge is absolutely addictive. It's a much better car than the 12-seater it replaces.
I don't think there is a true lemon here, not in the way that we've had lemons in the past. But relative to expectation, am I more disappointed with this than any other car here? Probably.
We like the VXR8 GTS. We like it more, in fact, than you'd guess, given that inevitably today it's going to be a sort of a bottom three contender in the overall scheme of things. That says more about the handling day test than it does about the VXR8, really. Pretty much any super saloon thrown in against these sports cars and supercars is going to struggle.
Some of the cars here, you get in them and you can go absolutely flat out straight away. In the M4, you really have to spend a lot of time getting to know it, and it's just not quite as rewarding. It's the connection. I never feel that connected to this car.
this bit, the 458 is, it feels so much lighter than it is, and it feels so much more immediate than most of the other things here, and the powertrain is just simply sensational. It's so responsive, it's so fast, it is mega. Not a lot about the Speciale isn't impressive actually. I mean, I didn't put it first because I prefer the GT3 and the Atom, but it's a little bit, the steering's a little bit too immediate for some people, a little bit too nervy, too edgy, but there's very little wrong with it. I mean, it's a worthy winner every day.
Eventually, and having driven all of these great cars for 2 days straight on both road and track, we narrowed it down to just 3 candidates. The Ariel Atom 3.5R, the Ferrari 458 Speciale, and our returning champ, the 911 GT3. From these, we then tried to pick an outright winner.
It's quite incredible, the Atom. You just don't have to try very hard in it at all. Even to keep something as rapid as that in sight. It's just amazing. You just take huge chunks out of it under brakes. The corner speeds that you can carry, it's just rude. I mean, he's not getting away from me at all in a straight line. Feels like I could go straight past him there under brakes. There you go, straight past him under brakes. It just feels rabid, this thing, it really does. It's absolutely berserk. And yet, the front end is just so friendly. I mean, that is properly fast. Oh, the way it stops, it's just bonkers. And yet you can muck around with it on the throttle as well. Just brilliant.
The GT3 pretty much swept aside all comers last year, and it's done really well this year. It's made it into our top 3. It's just such a lovely thing to drive, especially on a track like this. Listen to that motor. Fantastic brakes. Little bit of understeer. There's always going to be a little bit of understeer. It's a 911. Christ, it feels quick down here. Stops just beautifully. Oh, it just feels so bulletproof, the GT3. It's quite hard work. You know, you've had a bit of a wrestle when you climb out of a GT3, having driven it with some commitment around a track like this, but it's just so rewarding. It really is. I'm not sure it's just as finely tuned, just as engaging and awe-inspiring as the Ferrari. It's kind of more clinical than that. Some days this would be the only car you'd want out of all these cars that we've brought to Castle Combe. That's how flipping brilliant the GT3 is.
What a car this is! It is so fast, so sorted. I can't believe what this 458 Spec has done to the rest of the handling day lineup. It's looked every single one of them square in the face and just spat them straight out, including a McLaren 650S, including a GT3, including even the Atom. And that is saying something. It's just got a combination of stunning talents. It's really fast in a straight line. But this is about the handling. This competition was always all about the handling. And the way this thing goes around corners, it absolutely takes your breath away, but it stops for them beautifully. The turning is sick, quite frankly. The gear change is brilliant. It's actually quite friendly as well, near the limit. And considering how good the front end is on it, that is just bonkers. It really is a really, really serious piece of work, the 458 Speciale. Everyone that's driven it has absolutely just loved it to bits. No one more so than me. It's an epic moment in the history of the supercar, the 458 Speciale. I feel really, really privileged and lucky that we've got it to Castle Combe and compared it with all our favourite cars of this year, but be in no doubt, this is the one. This is your winner.
Yup, you may well have guessed by now. Our champion this year turned out to be the quite extraordinarily brilliant and just very, very fast 458 Speciale. It's hard to think of any car at any price point right now that delivers more thrills to whoever is lucky enough to climb behind the Speciale's beautiful suede rim steering wheel. And in the end, that's why it won this contest, almost at a canter, with 3 out of 8 judges placing it top and 2 more placing it second. Runner-up was the mighty Atom, which set the fastest lap outright by over a second, and third was the still completely brilliant 911 GT3. What a collection of cars. What a top couple of days out we had in them, and what a clear and obvious winner the Ferrari turned out to be. So, until this time next year,